run per ball, the exception of Sampal Kami. He made 44 off 30, and there was double figure scores for Baba Hyatt, Chadwick Walton, and Arjun Gartry 2. For the bowlers, well, I thought the young wrist spinner was the pick of them, Tilak Raj Bandari, who was at the Under-19 World Cup in January. I'm not quite sure why they've waited 7 games to introduce him into the playing 11. He took 2 for 23, and well done to Bikash Agri, the other change. He took 3 for 14. All 3 wickets came in the final over. Let's get a look at those 3 wickets. Just doing the basics right, keeping it stump to stump. Got the better end of that decision. Height might have been a factor. And there was one smashed away. This is a really good catch from Sad bin Safar. Got into an awkward position but managed to hold on. And then that was absolutely plumb. Nice moment for him. He's had to wait for his chance. All 3 of those wickets in the final over. And that has left things on a knife edge. The Lions need 129 to win, and they've got the tournament's leading run scorer, the captain, Rod Bale, in their ranks to help them do it and find a second win. Andrew Leonard here alongside HD Ackerman. HD, for the neutrals, well, if the Lions could get a win, it would really keep things wide open. We'd probably go all the way to the 28th and final group match before we find out who our Fab 4 are for the playoffs.
Here we're relying really on the only team that is out the competition to keep everyone in. They're more than capable of. I mean, they've become over-reliant on Rohit Goodell. They need some other players to stand up here and get counted, because he really has been a lone ranger throughout the tournament for them.
Yeah, let's just explain a few of the permutations here. Lumbini are the only side eliminated from the tournament thus far, and Janakpur, the Bolts, are the only side that are guaranteed a top 4 spot. They're looking very good, to be honest, for a top 2 spot as well, as are Sudar Pashim. We're Lumbini to beat Karnali here, and the Gulatnagar Kings to beat the Chitwan Rhinos in the afternoon game. All of a sudden, it's going to get very congested between number 3 and number 7. The Kings have it all to do because of that net run rate. They're not just going to need 2 wins, they're going to need 2 big wins. But if Lumbini could somehow beat the Yaks here, and maybe beat them with a few overs to spare, that's going to hurt Karnali's net run rate. It will bring Pokhara big time into the picture, as it will bring Kathmandu in too. They both have 2 games left. It's certainly all to play for as we head towards the latter stages of the group games here at the inaugural MPL. Here come the 2 openers. 2 batters who've been a bit shy of runs, a bit shy of form. Ted Canal has a little word with Arjun Said. They get to cricket together. He's even going to tie a shoelace for him. He's on his best behaviour, having got in trouble earlier in the tournament there, isn't he, Ted Canal?
I would have also said, if I was Arjun, tie my shoelace, because 3 or 10, you can't give me any advice on how to go about chasing this title. Dev Kunal is a very, very elegant player, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of him around the world. He's got a lovely technique, but I think he's just struggled a little bit in this inaugural MPL. Anyway, his time is done. He's going to do some fielding, and it's now up to these 2 young men at the crease.
And yeah, certainly Ashutosh Giria, who's come into this tournament with a massive reputation from domestic cricket, scored a couple of centuries in various competitions here this year in 2024 domestically. He's had a real shocker, just cannot get anything going. Arjun Said has shown a couple of times why he's been thought of in and around as a national team player, has plenty of caps, but 55 runs are the best of 20, that's not a good return either. Strike rate of just 85 almost every single time that we've seen the Lions play. Number 3 and number 4 have been at the crease very, very early. Sampal Kami's going to take the new ball. Never shortage of confidence with this man. He's only picked up 4 wickets though. He's been expensive. And we just wonder, will the 2 openers maybe try to go after Sampal Kami with the pace on the ball? If you're a Yaks fan, well, the Yak attack was not seen really with the batting by Noah Basisto. They're going to need to strike early to defend this total. It'll be 129 to win for the Lions. I think already we see that they are going to attack St. Paul County.
This is working that away on the leg side. It's a very straight delivery that he was lucky to get that on.
Tended to see anyone play across the line in this competition unless it's a real drag down. It's paid the price. You've got to hit straight near the TU. They're going to go after it here in the power play. They've been sent out to attack, haven't they?
You only have to look at the dismissals in that final over of the Yaks. The sister on bended knee trying to hit it over square leg to LBW, and then Nandan as well. Walking across, swinging your way towards the leg side, LBW. 100% right. Those that have been the most effective in hitting boundaries have been down the ground.
One hand off the bat. There's a few technical challenges, isn't there, for Ashutosh. He's got to get his weight transfer, his balance better to get into a position to play the kind of strokes he's attempting.
The thing in the first 6 overs is that the ball's brand new. It pings off the bat. You don't need to try and hit it over mid-off or over extra cover. You can hit it through them. The outfield is quick enough. Just look to time the ball.
County's got him on toast here. What do you think of one of the modern terms that we talk about? It was backlift back in our day when we were growing up, then it was backswing. What about the way in which this bat arc is coming down for Ashutosh?
It does appear that his bat goes behind him rather than up towards first slip, really. Most of the top players, we're going to call it a back lift, and then when they do swing, we'll refer to a swing with the back lift. And that's just the scene on view. There's nothing wrong with the way he picks the bat up, but it's where it's positioned. You really need to see it front on.
Over to start with from St. Paul County. Nobody Lions, none for none after one. We've seen in the crowd, we've seen kids, we've seen families, we've seen plenty of female fans, plenty of hardcore male fans. 6-7 years ago when I first came here at HD, there wasn't much diversity in the crowd. It's the opposite now. It's been one of the great successes of this MPO. It's kind of merged a bit of entertainment. We've seen actors, actresses, directors, movie stars, mountaineers, all come in. I'll tell you something, tomorrow, I gather it's already a sellout. Another Super Saturday, the third of four, all building up to the grand final on Saturday the 21st of December. As Nandan Yadav, who's really impressed me, and many a good judge throughout this tournament, back up from Australia, back to his native Nepal, will open the bowling alongside St. Paul County as Saud gets up the mark, the first runs. I heard there's a half-decent player that's arrived in the country to come and see the spectacle for himself. Well, to say he was mobbed at the airport this morning is an understatement. The Prince himself, Brian Charles Lara. Darren Goff talking about all the centuries, double centuries and triple centuries he made. Neglected the quadruple. He must have forgotten about that one. The Prince of the Port of Spain made against England, and then of course the quintuple was for Warwickshire. Won that out. Poor old Durham. Poor old Darren. Keeper dropped him before he got to double figures. And an angle once more from Ashutosh. It's probably not the angle we want. To see if we can see to his face. I think the problems start at stance. But that's behind him. Forget his style, hit his balls. Nice to see a smile on his face. Chris Scott, it was, dropped Brian Lara, I think in the 30s or 40s, as that was overpitched too full from Nandan Yadav. I believe famously he turned to his slips and he says, knowing my luck, he'll go on to get 100 now. Slightly underestimated the 400 additional runs, 401 additional that he piled onto that. With my luck, he'll go on to get 100. Well bowled, that was sharp. That's why Nandan Yadav is exciting many. And Ashutosh didn't even know where to go or what to do. Got to enjoy it, don't you? There's a new ball in his hand, why not? Beauty. Nips back at him, there's nowhere to go. I agree with what Darren Goff has been saying throughout the morning. I think this is a better picture. I think there's a bit more pace in it. Remember, when we played on this the first time in the tournament, we saw really high scores. This was the pitch where Andreas Pearce married the tournament's only ton. Nice shot. That'll be 4. The extra pace always brings about run-scoring opportunities, and Sound gets on top of the bounce, uses his wrists, and gets a 4. Now the key there is he doesn't try and work the ball down to that deep third region. He's trying to hit it sort of more around point, but because the ball's new, it just slides off the face of the bat and goes down to that deep third area. The thing I like about that square on replay, it just shows the pace and the reaction that the batter has to give. Definitely, for me, maybe the quickest bowler from Nepal in the tournament is Nandan Yadav, but he's gone for 10. It's 10 for them. As a Brian Lara fan, that is the iconic wide-brimmed Richie Richardson style floppy hat. I love that. I've got one of those at home myself. In the air, protection out there will be a single. Like I told you before, HD, the sole reason I ended up getting into cricket, no family background, no historic interest in the game through my family, but it was live on BBC through the long summer holidays that we had. In Ireland, you got BBC free. I on the television, so what did you do as a kid? You watched sport. And who came and continually beat England in the early 90s? Well, it was the West Indies, and as an Irishman, anyone who beats England is good enough for you. But a very grey and dull and dreary Dublin in the late 80s and early 90s. Curtly Ambrose and Malcolm Marshall, Ryan Lara and Viv Richards. Great shot, penalty forward end of ground. Maybe a touch of Viv Richards and not a bit of swagger. Attacking Sampal Kami.
Well, he's had to find a way to hit this for four because it's not a half volley. And he's done it very, very effectively. I think the West Indies, it would be fair to say they've always been everyone's second favourite team. Obviously not those from the Caribbean.
Oh, a bit more swagger. The Argent said he'll love the comparison to Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards. Another good stroke, it's 4 more, finally showing something in this competition, the Lions.
This time he stays at home and Sampal Kami whacks it halfway down. Nicely put away.
Feel a bit for him because he's got a lot of starts, hasn't he? Whipped straight to the man. It's another start and it's another dismissal. Gulshan Jazz never dropping that. And Saud falls for an unlucky 13.
Well, often when you make comparisons of players to players like Isaac Vivian Richards, it falls in a heap because the young man has tried his trademark stroke, which is the whip through mid-wicket. But instead a leading edge is found. It was a promising start to the innings for Arjun. He goes for 13. The Lions have lost their first, 19 for 1.
Massive roar you hear in the background. Don't need to rank the popularity of the national team players, but certainly the likes of Rohit Paudel and Dipender Singh Harry right up there. Tournament's leading run scorer says, I've batted mainly at 4 in this tournament. I want to finish with a win. Just stick me in at number 3. I'll try and do the job myself.
And I like that. I think on these pitches, granted this one may be a little bit better than previous couple of days, but on these pitches you want your best players in as early as possible, facing the most amount of balls. I think a lot of teams have missed that trick. They're stuck with their batting lineups and they pay the price.
They couldn't agree more. Same simple. We've got to make it happen. End of the third, it's a wicket taking over. 19 for 1. By quite a distance, and another noteworthy thing here, the only Nepali batter in the top 5 for all the success of the bowlers. Lots of the national team players with the bat have failed, but it's only been the captain that stood up and he's very much top of the charts. He may well end up top of the charts. That wouldn't surprise me. I know he'll be focusing purely on the win today, but if he can get 30, he'll become the first to 300. Here comes the 16-year-old. Up and sharp into the attack and through the talent hunt. And hasn't he shown? He's been excellent. Inside edge will be challenged, and Powell, who's been good against spin, will need to be. Look at Taker. The X. Look at Sharma. It's not only the wickets column, the economy very impressive. Under 6 is exceptional. On the ball, not the right line. The first boundary to the captain of the Lions. And I think that this will also be a little bit intimidating for Bipin Sharma. He's bowling to the national captain, and I think he's bowled us a lot quicker than he normally does. Almost a little bit frightened. Come on, young man, accept the challenge. Show him your skills. Spot on, that was a nervy delivery, wasn't it? You heard Chadwick Walton say, just bowl, just bowl. Hale takes him on, gets a good piece of it. I think it's going to be a couple of bounces and run away for 4. A caressing stop from the captain of the Lions. It's a fine shot. The option, I like the option to take it on earlier inside the power play, but I don't think he finds the middle of the bat. The reason it's a pretty safe stroke though, because of the field, for that delivery, the only man in the deep on the leg side was deep backward square on this kind of the more conventional sweep. That was the slog sweep, up and over. The other fielder out is long off, with exploitation of the field restrictions. Talk about hate to bats. Boundary to a bad ball, a bit of aggression, take a risk at another boundary, then take a single. 9 off 5. And with that sweep stroke that he plays so well and manipulates the field, the little fine sweep ensured that the man at 45 on the leg side was brought finer, which then ensured that the deep square leg was brought finer, and then he was able to play the hard sweep slog. A fine stroke. It was a half volley, but Ashutosh has taken a long time to get going, gets to double figures with a very flowing cover drive. That is an Incel Super 4. Expensive start for the youngster who's been so good. The Lions off to a good start, 33 for 1. First innings, HD, that if the Lions win this game, it's going to throw the proverbial cat amongst the pigeons of the table and the playoff shake-up. They'll need some experience. Ishan Maqsood has just that. They're going to need to find a way past Robert Powell sooner rather than later. I think every single man in his dog knew that Brother will be key to this run chase. If the X can knock him over early, he makes an error.
And you just wonder whether this run chase will become a bit too much for the Lions with the lack of success they've had from the rest. There are some good players in their lineup, there's no doubt about it, just that they haven't. We said he's back at number 3. The first 4 games he batted at number 3. Then he came in at number 4, and then he actually came in at number 5 in one game to allow Chand and Tom Moores to go ahead of him. Listen to these numbers. The opening partnerships for the Lions in this tournament: 23 in the first game, next game 0, next game 0 again, then 22, then 1, then 7, and today 19. He came in at number 4. The score was 1 for 2. That's 2 wickets lost. When he came in at 5, it was 15 for 3. Every single time he's walked to the crease, he's come in a complete crisis. And he's responded to those crises. An amazing style. He's just 20 shy now of 300 runs in the competition. Doesn't make for good reading for the Yaks, because he goes score, score, fail, score, score, fail. So he's due a score. Following the patterns keenly, he gets a score. Quite simply, the Lions win here. If he doesn't, well, anything could happen. They probably need to get him now, don't they? Almost before the power play ends. They don't want him to get the score too close. Maybe doing the rest of the team probably a disservice by saying he needs to get them within 30. But it's just that they've done very little. I think you're purely calling it as being throughout the 6 matches. Is this the moment? Yes, it is. The Yaks needed to get Road Downhill. And Zishan Maksud, that extra experience that does the trick. Another one that falls playing across the line. And if ever there was an ultraviolet ballistic moment of the day, that's it. This is it. The experience brought into the attack. He's such a good sweeper of the ball. Right in front, Zishan says, yes, I've got the nous, I've got the experience, and I've got you the main man. The Yaks have him, the captain. Rohit Padal goes for 10. The Lions 35 for 2.
To use what we call a big moment this in the game. It was a skipper who scored runs time and time again, tried to dig his side out of trouble. Not meant to be today. The last game for the Lumbini Lions, and they lose Rohit Padal very early, just 10 runs from him today. They're going to need an innings from Tom Moores.
Yeah, the leader partnership, that'll be the key. Rohit Paudel finishes NPL Season 1 campaign with 279 runs. Well, he's being the go-to man, the crisis man for the Lumbini Lions. Oh dear, that's the last thing you need at this stage.
You're already back in the pavilion. You don't want to run out at this stage. You don't want to wicket at this stage. Tom Moore's working this into the leg side and sent back fairly quickly.
You can really understand the mindset of a batter to get off the mark and get that one run and get to the other end. That first run is so important for any batter. But Moore has to understand as well how much has he batted with Girai in the middle to have that kind of coordination of tap and run as well. Sharma. This boy is a very, very special talent here in the ranks of Nepal cricket, and he's got a lot of attention from fans all over Nepal for the kind of composure he's shown. You've got to mix it up as a spinner as well. Done with the power plays. It's 36 for 2. As always, a good turnout here. Done with the power plays. It's been a good contest between bat and ball. Yaks have eked out 2 big wickets here, that of Saud and Paudel. The comparisons there as well. The batters have just not been able to get rid of the ball. They've got 7 boundaries though in the first 5 overs to make that 6.
Even stealing in terms of runs. 36 for 2. The Yaks are 29 for 1. As this is edged, and it's going to run away. They should get a couple of runs here. Just getting it past the keeper. The opening pair have been poor for the Lumbini Lions.
And you brought up a good point there, Monali. That's because Ashutosh Girai's highest score in the tournament so far has been 15, and that came in the first game against the Biratnagar Kings. And Arjun Saud's highest has been 20. Slip in place. And the final league game, you'd expect the batters to find some form and just feel good about the fact that they've contributed in the team scores.
We want to try and end the tournament on a high, but then we look back at what hasn't worked for the Lions, because we want to try and still get a bit of an understanding of where they've gone wrong. For me, the opening pair has really not shown up. Guraya, you just mentioned a high of 15. He's passed that today with 16, but he's never looked comfortable when he's out there in the middle. The footwork's been shabby. This one spins in. The footwork's been very limited from him. He's looked very hesitant. Doesn't get in the best of shapes when he's playing as well.
Yeah, Maqsood's bowling well. Getting that ball to turn that was going down leg. Finally, Tom Moores gets off the mark in his 7th delivery. That'll certainly help him feel better. And you're talking about Girai, yes, after that he's had scores of 0, 8, 1, 4. Yeah, so yeah, but what's been interesting is that the Lions have stuck to this opening combination. Got to show faith, I fairly understand that point as well. This is a very, very straightforward, simple dismissal over here. A regulation catch to Posisto. And just as we speak about the struggles of Ashutosh in the middle, he'll have to take that long walk back to the dugout. Maqsood gets his second.
were unable to make an impact even in the last game here at the Nepal Premier League, and his troubles will continue. Tossed up, gets an outside edge and a simple catch. Basisto wasn't going to drop that one, but that summarizes the tournament for Ashutosh Guraya. He walks back for 16 off 21, and the Lumini Lions are 40 for 3.
Look very difficult as Sandeep Johra walks out. Yeah, he'll want to do something different and redeem himself. So close to getting Lions to the win against the Janakpur Bulls. Walks out once again with the team requiring him to stay there and get the runs. And what did this man do the last time he was given the ball? He walked away with 6 for 28 Manali.
Absolutely phenomenal with the ball. 6 for 28, his best figures that we've seen so far in the tournament as well. And he'll want to play a big hand today.
Yeah, gets a thickish outside edge to Tom Moores, and that race away for a ball. They won't mind this, neither will Tom Moores. Education fees for school children for every 4 scored. What a wonderful initiative powered by NCL Foundation. Yeah, just travel very quickly. Yeah, he got 6 for 28 against the Pokhara Avengers.
And completely bamboozled the Avengers. And in his day, or on his day, he could be very lethal, William Basisto. Sandeep Johra, 26 off 29 in the previous game. He has shown some highlights. He has shown some promise for his side, the Lumini Lions. They find themselves still 84 runs away from this target.
Sandeep Johra has had a couple of scores in his 20s, but he's not been able to build on that. He's done some heavy lifting in his middle overs for the middle order, but he's not been able to apply the finishing touch, Monali.
Not many of them have. Roy Pradar probably the only one who's gone on to get big scores. Tom Moores as well, he's gotten starts. And unfortunately, you can't win a match with just one player and the same player in every single game.
Yeah, they've gotten Ben Cotton for Mukchand, yes, so they've added a lot of muscle to that middle order. But they've left out Vivek Yadav today. We saw what he could do with the bat the other day, got 70 odd in a losing cause, but he certainly showed long levers and some powerful striking. But they need a partnership here to get there. Yeah, it's a wonderful feeling for William Basisto to play in front of his father and mother who've flown in to watch his son play. We did see them some time back. Meanwhile, a little special one over here. Also making the most of cricket in Nepal.
She looks bundled up.
Like you, Monali?
Always. End of the over, 8 gone, 46 for 3.
Yeah, the best bowling figure so far in NPL Season 1 belongs to William Basisto. He got that against the Pokhara Avengers. So Tanveer got the first 5-wicket haul, 5 for 21 against the Kathmandu Gurkhas. We saw Harsh Thakur as well, and Naren Saud also getting 5 wickets in their respective spells. Yeah, this partnership is growing. But how well has Ishan Maqsood bowled today? 2 for 7 in his third.
He's quite a consistent performer, isn't he? Got so much experience, Ishan Maqsood.
Shout, and look at Zishan Maqsood. He's not just in the field, he's bleeding over there. And I wonder what denied him that wicket. Yeah, take it easy, Zishan. I know you're on a high, 2 wickets already in your bag. Quite a character, Zishan. I've seen him do a lot of fun and chatter and playing for Oman as captain as well in the domestic leagues. The way he celebrates his wickets. Just got into all kinds of knots and crosses, but does well to get it away as well. Yeah, got into an uncomfortable position, but then managed to get enough below to get a boundary. The 50 comes up as well for the Lumbini Lions in the 9th over.
Yeah, big shot not too long ago. This one keeping a little low. Was short. He does well to stay low, follow the ball, track it onto the bat, and he does find a boundary off of it. Tom Moore's 10 off 14 now.
Remember, he was 1 of 7. And he's 10 off 15 now.
There was a shout earlier. Looked like it was going down leg.
Yeah, but a very good call, I must admit. Hit him on the knee roll of the back leg. But by the end of it, it was a good call. 6 runs coming off over number 9, 52 for 3. For the last time, we'll be seeing the Lumbini Lions in action. This is their final league game versus the Karnali Yaks, chasing 128, and they've lost 3 wickets. Yeah, soft hands. He's a busy cricketer, Tom Moores. Could this be the day where he can light up the stage for the Lions?
Partnership growing steadily, 13 runs now. 76 of 65. That required run rate continues to grow with every passing dot ball. We've seen sides get themselves in a bit of a knot towards the end when they leave too much towards the end. Similar situation yesterday that ended up getting us into that super over, the first super over at the Nepal Premier League. Come in with the drums, the musical instruments.
And the moves as well, Monali. Yeah, it's a very effective shot in this format, particularly in this competition. We've seen most of the batters trying the reverse switch. Just keep it on the stumps, says Chadwick Walton. In the width of the stumps. Don't offer any room. Let them make the mistake. We'll keep things simple. very good strike. He's drilled that into the side screen region, and that's Sandeep Johra. He can be so effective with the bat in the middle overs. Much needed Siddharth Bank maximum.
The 2-4 in the slot, and it was easy pickings. Sandeep Johra goes downtown with this one. Smashed right into the sight screen. Lucas Sisto not looking as much of a threat today as we reach the halfway point. It's 60 for 3, and we're going to take a quick drinks break as well.
Cam has been a popular one. Plenty of good movers up there in the crowd, enjoying the rhythm, enjoying the vibe of this inaugural NPL. What a success it's been. We've got plenty more to come as we get towards the crunch stages. 3/4 of the way through this group phase, and all 4 spots very much of interest. The Bolts, even though they've qualified, we don't know whether they'll finish in the top 2 or not. And the Yaks, well, they really need to win this game. One of the reasons why, you have to remember their final game is going to be against Sudar Pashim, and the way the Royals have been playing, I'm not sure whether the Yaks will get over the line. It could be win or bust for them. Andrew Leonard here for the next 5 overs alongside the legend, the iconic former England fast bowler Darren Gough. Darren, a look at these 3 wickets that have fallen.
Well, they got off to a good start, didn't they, the Lions? The first one, and the second one there, that's Blum. That's the big one. And there you go, thick edge trying to drive with the spin. And Basisto, good catch there at backup point.
I think we could have a really close game here. There's 69 off 60, 7 wickets in hand. Usually you'd say the Lions big favourites, but it's not just the fact run scoring has proved difficult over the last 3 or 4 days. It's the fact the Lions have just so little confidence, and Rohit Taylor's back in the hutch. This partnership is huge. The vice captains Sandeep Johra and Tom Moores have to get it done as we see Unish come into the attack. You'd like to think Moores owes his team a score here. He's got lots of starts, hasn't got a big one.
Absolutely, and Tom Moores is he's an experienced cricketer. Hits the ball a long way. Tends to give his wicket away, quite a bit, and that's the disappointing thing about Tom Moores, because he's got such talent. Good ball striker, a real good ball striker. But I think he's the key now if the Lions are going to get over the line.
So a little bit of mystery spin, like we saw from Sher Malay. All these off breaks, Singh McCory, and then occasionally just being able to get a little carom ball out of one that will go the other way. This partnership's worth 22. Starting to look good. Not going to carry. Dev Canal was interested, wasn't he, for a moment at long off.
Well, that would have been a shock. It was a poor delivery, actually. Dragged it down and went for the maximum. Sometimes just settle for the 4. There you go, at the front of the hand. And there you go. Oh, nearly gave him a wicket. Panic.
Great wrists from Tom Moores. That's an excellent shot. Yes, it was over pitched, but look at the way he manipulated it past the extra cover fielder. That's a super 4, powered by Ensel 4G.
Absolutely, definitely power in that shot from Tom Moores. And this is what he's saying. Sometimes he doesn't need to hit the ball in the air. Play with your head. He's such a talented player. Opens the face, hits it through. You can hit 4s. You can win 4s and still win matches. You don't need to hit 6s today.
Son of Peter Moores, of course, not just one stint as England head coach, two.
He's been coach of Lancashire, coach of Sussex, he's at Notts now. He goes around the world doing a bit of coaching as well.
Well, that's help yourself time at the buffet, a real drag down. Moores could hit it anywhere. He hits the best place here at the team, straight down the ground, rounds out the 11th. It's 73 for 3. Second best over of the innings as
And the Tom.
what must it be like to have 28 more? So when the dad was the head coach of England, would have just been a teenager, wouldn't he? Do you think that would have helped him?
But he definitely felt the pressure of being my son. It's not easy, and you've got a few young lads out there now. You've got young Rocky Flintoff, you've got Archie Vaughan, who are trying to follow in their father's footsteps. It's not easy.
Gets away with that one. Yeah, big names. This one's out now. Flintoff and indeed Vaughan now. Every day we've got a sparkling smile fan of the match. Oh, she has to be the winner. That's a lovely smile. Sponsored by Happy Dent.
By the Cisco, I really am. To see he just plays good cricket over in Australia. He's come here, he's got runs, he's a good fielder. He's handy with the ball. He got 6 for, didn't he, last time out? I think he's bowled quite well here, actually. Good running between the wickets from the Lions. 52 from 49 now. Favourites.
It shows just how strong Western Australian cricket is in particular if he can't get in the stateside at the moment. So much depth there. 12 have been bowled, 78 for 3. gorgeous shots of the TU provided by our drone cam. He's doing a wonderful job on that one. As Pippin will went for his third over. It was an expensive first as Paolo took a liking to the youngster. Jorah, the vice captain, looks to do the same, but a good piece of fielding. Robert Hyatt's judged that line well, cuts off the boundary.
Oh, I'm just pleased, I tell you what, I think I've got the pitch report quite good. Took a bit of a gamble, said it was going to be a good pitch, a very good pitch today. And so far, it's played beautifully, hasn't it? It really has. It's come on nicely.
Yeah, fully agree. I know the surfaces have been a bit of the talk of social media the last 72 hours. It's not easy at this time of year. It's not easy. We've got the volume of cricket that we have throughout this NPL. But this pitch is where Anders Klaus made that century, the only tour of the tournament. Jorah takes on and shows us how good the surface is. It's a Siddhartha Bank 6, but only just.
Doesn't matter, only just, but good enough. I mean, 229 sixes now in the tournament. Superb effort. Watch this. Head down. That's the way to do it. Keep your head down. Look at the ball. And it's a maximum. Absolutely wonderful strike. Well ahead of the game now. The Lions.
We said this partnership was the absolute key. Don't rule out if it's broken now that we could have a late twist, but if they're still here in the 16th or 17th over, it's game over.
Look, the way I look at it, I think when you're playing on pitches that tend to offer a bit of turn, you've got to keep it under 8, and if you can keep the run rate under 8, you should walk the game.
It's even better than that though, isn't it? We're quite run rate under a run of ball. Experience with the vice captain, with the team, and he's played a good bit of international cricket, Sandeep Jorah, and Tom Moore is a real veteran of the county circuit now at this stage. Should capture this, but Lions have had that kind of season.
Oh, we've seen some collapses as well, haven't we, so far in this tournament?
Sure, another big one, no contact this time. 13 bowled, it's 88 for 3. Control the Lions might be about to win their first game without a really significant contribution from their skipper, as Jorah and Moores are stepping up. I'm just trying to talk about Sandeep Jorah a little bit, Darren, because it's a strange tournament. Scores 12, 18, 20, 16 and 26 to go alongside a 4 not 8 where he just came in at the end, wasn't dismissed. So he's got to start in every game, but his highest score in the tournament, just 26.
But from what I've seen of him so far, I think he's a risky player. He takes risk. He likes to hit boundaries, he likes to hit shots. And so, no matter what, you've always got a chance with him, but if he gets going, he can be very dangerous for the team and up the momentum, and he's done that so far for the Lions.
He's been given the role in T20I cricket where he's played a lot more for Nepal. He's only played 5 ODIs with not much success, but he's been given the role as the finisher. 350, strike rate 120, averaging about 20. 50 partnership comes up in good time on just 38 balls. There's that missed. So nearly cuts the off stump.
What a delivery. So fortunate there, Tom Moores. Again, we've seen a lot of the batters today go back on these sort of surfaces, go forward, hit the ball down the ground, the safest place. When it's turning big, it's square.
Looks with the kind of wonder ball there, tries to pitch it on leg at the top of off. But I suppose in that finisher role, you do have to take some risk, don't you?
And as I said to you, when you're building a team, the first thing you look for is that person who can bat 4, 5, 6 and finish the game. 50 partnerships, brilliant, not 51 or 40 balls. This is what wins matches. We talked about it last few days.
Risk taken, fielder out there, gives it away again. His highest score in the tournament will remain 26. Persisto in the wickets again. There's always a right twist in Nepal.
Well, there go, the snow leopards are even dancing, but we've talked about this many, many times. When you're in a runner ball, all the pressure is on the yaks, and he's given them a wicket there. A big boundary down there, I think it's 66 metres, comfortably well inside. Persisto takes the breakthrough, and Jora, a good innings comes to an end, 24 from 21, and the Lions now 91 for 4.
Surprises, late twists here when you're watching cricket at the TU. It's going to be Ben cutting to the crease. He's not really had the chance to do much in this tournament. The Australian will have to face one ball for a fellow countryman.
Speaking to him this morning, he actually was surprised he was playing. He said, yeah, believe it or not, I'm getting the game.
Career strike rate very high, over 140. So he's known for clearing the ropes. You don't need him to clear the ropes, though. You need to run a ball. He gets off the mark immediately. Doesn't want the second. He'll keep the strike. Finishes out Will Basisto's day. He'll end with 1 for 23 to go with a fine batting effort. It's 92 for 4.
Yes, thanks.
So it's 37 to win off 36. You just never know. Particularly a side so short of confidence like the Lions have been. Vipin Sharma will bowl his fourth and final, wicketless today. 16-year-old just has had a bit of pressure applied on him. Tom Moores is coming down just to have a word with his partner, explain what the deliveries are doing, and he's saying there's no turn, everything's going to angle into you. He's outside the line as well. Good decision. Okay, let's get down pitch side to Manali Patel. She's got one of the stars of the tournament with her.
Thank you so much, Lenny. I've got Rohit Kordal, the captain of the Lumbini Lions. Before I get into any questions, explain to me this fanfare that you have here.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel very lucky, especially playing for Nepal, and playing for Lumbini Lions and having such fans. It's great. They love a lot, so yeah, I feel very grateful.
Yeah, they absolutely do. There's quite a fan following here. Talk to us about what the process has been, what the experience has been here at the Nepal Premier League for you as a captain.
Yeah, I think not an ideal tournament which we are looking forward, especially our tough tournament for as a unit. Individually, it went good. But as a unit, I think in starting as a bowling unit, we didn't stepped up. Slowly walking into the tournament, we bowled really well, and wicket also helped a lot. and then again a little bit of here and there with the bat, and yeah, I think not an ideal tournament for us.
Yeah, not an ideal tournament for you, but you have had a lot of positives. Your performance in specific, you've crossed the 200-run mark. What has worked for you so well that hasn't for the rest of the team? And that's going to be another wicket, and we're going to have to go upstairs for this.
Well, we may have a boundary check here, but we may have a quite sensational catch. It's Babur Hayat, I think, out at long on. Cutting got a good piece of it. Has he just been dismissed by a wondrous catch?
Well, it's a big moment, this in the game. The Lions cruising. Been a good over so far from Bipin. A great bit of fielding. Has he done enough? Did he stay in the ropes? A nervous wait by the batter, Ben Cutting.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the front foot, that's fine. So we'll move on to the next part of the process. Just have to keep an eye on the footwork of Babur Hayat out here at long on. Vinay Kumar Jad is in the hot seat. He'll be the one who will have to get the photos. He's confirmed that it's a legal delivery. Amazing how easy the fielders make this look these days. Not just to take the catch, but then to stay inside the surface. You got to keep an eye on the left boot here. Oh, I'm glad I'm not in the hot seat again, Darren.
I think he's good, but what a wonderful bit of fielding. Hands off. But there you go when he gets the ball. Excellent bit of fielding, but did he touch the boundary markers? It's a big decision, big part of the game.
I think the final part of the catch that's taken, there's no problem with that. It's just this moment here. So he's taken the catch cleanly. What about this left boot? Is there any contact with the boundary rope?
I don't think there is. There's no movement on the rope there, on the sponsorship markers. But look at the angle. Great bit of fielding.
Well, the crowd are trying to persuade the umpire. They're chanting out, out, out.
Let's have a look here, closer. Is there any movement whatsoever? Well, I'm glad I'm a commentator and not an umpire. I think it'd be given.
Just wonder, is there any other angles? Because it's so close, isn't it? And it's difficult to tell from this angle. Describe this as the third umpires, the officials we talk to, they say it's like the air goes out of the room because they know that every single person's focus at this ground is on one man alone. That's Vinay Kumar Jha.
Not just in the ground, around the world, people are watching, shouting, all being third umpires and saying, what's he doing? Why is he taking so long? It's out, it's out, it's not out, depending which team you're supporting.
Don't you love, like, you think about that Surya Kumar Yadav catch in the T20 World Cup final, you love how half of the people said it was definitely out and half of the people said it was definitely six. It's so tight, it really is a difficult one. I don't think there's any problem with the latter aspect of the catch. So when he comes back out here,
This part's definitely fine because you can't even see the ball. It's not even in frame. It comes back down. It's clearly back within the playing surface and then completes the catch. The issue is that initial left foot stepping back. Great skills either way.
It's a round of applause from me. I think it's brilliant fielding in such a big part of the game. The Lions cruising to victory that we've seen in cricket.
I think we're going to see three letters here. OUT out. Big moment in the game. Then Cutting it is that falls for one. The Lions 92 for 5. We're to stay with you, and hopefully Manali, you might have been able to keep Rohit Paudel alongside you. Let's get back down to Rohit Paudel.
Thanks so much, Mani. Rohit, another wicket goes on. It's Ben cutting. You still think you're in the game?
Yeah, I still think we are in good. Tom and are good at batting, really good in this tournament. And yeah, I'm very positive that they'll make it.
Speaking of the tournament and the league, are there any youngsters that really stood out to you and you think they might be key in the future of growing Nepal cricket?
Yeah, there are a few. In our team, there's Abhishek Gautam is bowling very excellent with left half spin. In this team, Bikin is bowling really good. In Thailand, and he came from Karnali. So yeah, a lot of positive in this tournament for youngsters, and everyone is stepping up. So whenever Nepali performs, it gives immense pressure, regardless whether he's in our team or in other team. So yeah, it's for Nepali player, I think, and team.
And how important do you think it was that each team is led by a local player?
Yeah, I think it's very important because as a leader you know how to respond things, and when you in domestic mainly foreign players don't know the domestic players, so I think mainly domestic players and national players leading a side is a good option, and yeah, it will help them for in Nepal also to lead.
And the impact of all of the overseas players, we have seen a lot of players with the sister for the Yaks, you've got Tom Moores. How much knowledge and how much experience do they bring in, and how does it help the locals set that up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way all the foreign players are helping the domestic players, especially I believe that in all other team also, domestic players are going to talk with the foreign players and having some chat and learning from their experience how they take the game, how they prepare about the game. So I think that will help the youngsters to incoming days, and I believe all the foreign players will help the domestic players also.
And talking about you, I think we got interrupted by the wicket, but you've had a lot of success. You've crossed that 200 mark. How is it that you've read the conditions and you've had the success that you have?
I believe the wicket is on a tougher side, especially if you look last couple of days, it's on tougher side. So assessing the wicket is very important. I believe I assess the wicket a little better than others. I think in that way, and I feel the wicket is spinning a lot. So I was watching the ball very closely, and then taking my options where I can, whether it's sweep or reverse sweep or hitting down the ground. So I was very clear with my mindset. So I believe that is the key.
It's been a bit of a talking point throughout the last few games that you've played. Your opening pair hasn't really had the success. At what point do you think maybe you could have changed them to help you get that start up at the top?
I think we have changed a lot, especially in this tournament. We have seen Unmukh also there. Our two Nepali boys also, Arjun and Astus. I believe this season it has not worked for us, but usually I believe next season will come, we'll work out on that. And I think today's start was good, decent, the way both of us played. So yeah, posting, not a good posting for us, especially as in there was not a good start throughout the tournament. So yeah, let's see next season.
Obviously a lot of success out of this league. You are done after today. What does the local scene look like once you leave here?
Sorry, I didn't.
What does the local scene look like in terms of cricket once you leave the league?
I think all top 4 teams are, I believe all the top teams are very good teams, and they'll have a good playoffs, and whoever in the finals, good luck to them. I think we can see that how Nepali players perform in playoffs, especially when the knockouts come, the pressure increases. I want to see that how the Nepali players respond to those situations, whether it's in death overs, whether it's in opening batting or in a situation where they want 12 out of 30, how they'll score. And so I want to see that, and yeah, hopefully they'll perform.
And are you going into a bit of a break in terms of the international calendar? How do you keep in shape? How do you keep training so you can go out? Because that's a bit of a pickle right now as well, isn't it, with the Cricket World Cup League 2, your standings on that?
Yeah, I think it's very individual. I'll be taking a few 5 days, 7 days break, and then again coming back to training, and just wanted to improve my batting more. How can I improve in my areas where I can improve as a batsman, and yeah, I'll work on that, and hopefully when the time comes again, we'll try to score runs.
Well, thank you so much for having a chat with us, and we hope you continue to form outside of the Premier League as well, and best of luck next year.
Thank you.
Back to you guys upstairs.
such an impressive young man, such an impressive leader, and constantly on the search for self-improvement, which is all you can really ask of any sports person. Sad bin Safar it is, who's joined Tom Moores at the crease. 68 runs, really just that 52 that he's shone with. Remember, he was dropped early in the innings. Lions have got themselves in a tangle. Jora gave it away. Cutting was maybe a little bit unlucky. I just sense this is again going to go in the final over. Tom Moores has been run out a few times. The last thing they need is a run out. We're going upstairs.
I think he is comfortably home on this occasion.
Well, we will go upstairs for the end-pay umpire decision pending. Sinead Marjan action again. It's a really close call, wasn't it, for the catcher 6. I think this time it's going to be close again. Oh my, is he just home? He thought he got on comfortably. I tended to agree with you, but Walton has sprung to his right to make it a photo finish.
Yeah, the thing is here is that when his bat is on the line, and the line belongs to the fielding side, belongs to the umpire, I'm not sure the barrels have been dislodged. Our next frame, it appears as though that's when the barrels are dislodged. I still think he's going to be safe, but my, this is tight.
You look at the Lions this season, they could have, including today, they could have probably won 4 or 5 games. They've somehow got themselves into a tangle. Every close match they've been defeated. They scored 170, it was chased down. They scored 190, it was chased down. And this split screen's going to help. Oh, it's actually, I think it's out of sync, isn't it? My gut feel is he's going to be just home. Tricky, isn't it? You want to use all the technology as best you can. If you look at the left there, look at the left of the screen, HD. There, he's on the line, but the bails aren't broken. I think he's got home, but only just.
That's the shock for me. To me, he's over the line there. You can just see the bat over the crease of the Chadwick Walton left leg.
Definitely part of the learning process for the local umpires as well. They won't have done a huge amount of TV umpiring, and Sinead Marjan getting a real workout today. 2 very, very close calls. The first one went in favour of the Yaks as Barbara Hyatt held a wonderful catch, showing great athleticism down at long on. This one, well, my gut feeling, HD, is that it's going to go the Lions' way. But again, I'm glad I'm not up there. While we continue to wait, just want to touch once more on the Lions' results. They've lost games by 2 wickets, 1 run, 18 runs, 33 runs. Here comes the decision. I think we're going to see 2 words here. We are not out. The right decision for me.
Yeah. Great decision from the umpire, the on-field umpire, to go upstairs. I've given it not out from up here, so whether I've got eagle eyes, I don't know, but it was a lot closer than I originally thought. It really was. 2 valuable runs, 32 from 25 required here. 20 balls since the last boundary was hit, and the equation's 32 to win off 25. I don't think this is just going to the final over. It could be going to the final ball. Sue gets half a stop on it, and probably saves 3 runs.
End of the 16th. 98 for 5.
After 16, they need 31 from 24, and a close call going Saad Zafar's way. We're in for contest, HD.
Don't think we should have expected anything less, to be honest with. Yes, they've been low-scoring games, but we've had some real tight ones. Yesterday it went down to a super over. Surely not again today. The captain, Sampol Kami.
He's gone well so far. 1 for 9 in his 2 overs. Struck down the ground, looking for 2. And great piece of fielding. Nice and quick release. They stick to just the 1.
The Yaks need to open up in India if they want to win this, one might feel, because these two are one of the last of the recognised batters that have shown any sort of form in this competition.
Struck him. He looks to be in a bit of discomfort as he looked to pull that away. 30 off 31 Tom Moores. He's anchored the innings so far. Right in the gut, the side. Those are beautiful. They leave a nice shiner after. This time. Singles continue to come, but maybe tight finish towards the end if they can't release and get a couple boundaries here.
I think it's a question of who blinks first. Still feel that the Lions are on top. 29 off 21 surely would be their game, because you only need a couple of boundaries and then it's singles all the way, but boundaries have been hard to come by.
Very well bowled again, allowing no room, and they pick up 2 runs. Again, and it's a single.
Some real thinking to be done here by the captain about who bowls and when they bowl. Pippin is finished, so is Will Basisto. Sampol now bowling his 3rd over. We know Nandan the seamer has got 2. Zishan, who's been exceptional, 2 for 12 in his 3, but Sampol won't want to bowl Zishan to the 2 left-handers. That's the issue he faces.
This time, not where he intended. It's a thick outside edge, and it races away for 4. Great way to end the over for the Lions. 17 done. It's 1 of 7 for 5. the 33. He's going to be key here for the Lions. And the Yaks, if they're to salvage this game, they need to find some wickets. They need to find one quick, especially if they can pick up the wicket of Tom Moores.
They've opted for pace. It would have been tempting to bowl the left arm spinner, but the game can get finished in a hurry when bowling to two left-handers. So it's none done. He's got a bit of pace. He needs wickets.
He's not quite ready yet.
Inside the 30-yard circle, and you go across the left-hander with pace on, you're asking for trouble. Yes, it's a good stroke, but it's the only stroke that he could play to that delivery.
Just 18 off 17 now. This game might be slipping away quicker than they thought, the Yaks. Target those toes.
The Lions are doing their job for the rest of the teams in the competition because they are out, the Lions, but everyone else will be alive if they cross the line here, Victorians. The problem for the Yaks is their final game is against the high-flying Royals, and so they will leave themselves under tremendous pressure for that final game.
To the offside this time. They pick up another single. Not enough pressure. The batters seem well set. And it's going to take a mistake from the batters here to get to wicket here. Again, and this has worked into the leg side this time. They pick up a single. And it's just cost them a wicket. The Lions right when they were cruising.
Come on. Run a ball needed. Well, if you want to know why the Lions are languishing at the foot of this table, why they're out the competition, there's a reason. You win this game at a canter, Tom. You win it at a canter. Instead, you've given the Yaks a little hope. 36, 114 for 6.
third and 14 for 6. Futuristic design. It's an impressive car. The Moda and Jayco, the fastest growing brand in the world. Long range SUV. Up and over, through the offside. It's not going to find the boundary. Oh, that was a bit too tight, and we might have a run out. We're going to go upstairs and take a look at this. Everything's happening on this delivery.
Tight again. Be running out the correct man. He's got to go. What a perfect throw. Maybe just a little lower. Is that back raised? Is that back raised? Now there's another decision. Here is another decision for the television umpire, because the frame before, I just wonder there if that bat is still in the air, if the toe of the bat is in the air. Once it's grounded other side the crease, it can bounce. That's not a problem, but it has to be grounded first and foremost. For the television umpire is seeing whether the bails are actually up. Whether the stump's been broken is one thing, but the bails need to be, one bail needs to be out of its groove. That to me does look though as though the bat is in the air and that no part of the bat has grounded behind the line. So the decision is whether the bail is up. I have a sneaky feeling this might be given out.
Sarpin's offer now part of 2 tight run-out calls. 14 off 10. He is a handy bat. He can finish a game for a side. The Lumbini Lions will feel more comfortable than not with him out there.
You're not going to be able to tell here because the umpire is directly in the path of whether we can see the bails have lifted or not. The picture on the right, that's where the decision has to come from. One question our television umpire needs to ask himself is, are the bails up or are they not? If they're up, it's out. If they're not, it's not out. Simple as that. That's the frame. Because the next frame forward, the bat is grounded.
Vinay Kumarja, some third umpire. He's been busy today. He's had to make some really tight decisions.
The job of the television umpire is to try and marry the pictures up. There the bails are definitely up, but it's but his bat is grounded there. It's whether the bails are up here. That's where he needs to marry the pictures. This is an awfully, awfully tough decision. And it could be a result-driven decision here, because gives it out, the Yaks could win it. He gives it in, and the Lions have still got a big chance with Zafar at the crease.
I mean, we've got access to these pictures. The players have got no access to the pictures.
I'm changing my mind. I'm trying to guess what the third umpire is going to do. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. I think the television umpire is going to give this not out. Because there, the bat to me, there's a part of the bat that is over the line, that is grounded. Grounded. So if we're asking for that next frame, there's a feeling that the bails are still in. The most important thing to consider here, ladies and gentlemen, is the light. Because if we take any longer, the second game might not be completed, and the sun will be down here in Kathmandu. So, whatever the case, yes or no?
12:18 local time. Next game's supposed to start at 1. It's a good thing we've not had that second game go into a super over. As you met, yes, toss at 12:30, HD.
There was a day when you used to hear the statement, benefit of the doubt goes to the batter. Now, surely if we are looking at it for this amount of time, there is an element of doubt. Now, I know we're trying to come up with the right decision, but if the pictures aren't revealing anything, these are the two pictures here. Marry these two up. The one on the right is where the umpire is comfortable that the bat is in the air, but it needs to be married with the one in the left. They need to get exactly the same picture as the one on the right, just from that different angle, that front-on angle. There, I still think he's in. Here's the one. Well, I'm giving that out, surely. I mean, the stumps are almost out the ground, never mind the bails.
Yeah, with the angle of the stumps, you would assume that the bails are going to be out of those grooves. And he's gone. Saad bin Zafar, 16 off 11. He's going to have to walk off. It was a tough decision. And the Lumbini Lions will continue to feel the pressure. Gone for 16 off 11. The Lions 116 for 7. Unfortunate for Saad bin Zafar to be run out, but it's going to be Ramon Simmons. Philip Bundari out there, yet to get off the mark.
you what I find hard to believe here is just glancing at the scoreboard. I'm looking at the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method. And that score reads 1-2-1. So it actually means that if it had to rain now, and it's not going to rain, but if it had to rain now, the Yaks would win. And I can't understand how they've come up with that, because 12 of 10 in this day and age, if you've got to batter that in, you win that at an absolute canter. So surely DLS has to be looked at for T20 cricket going forward with the way these players are playing. That doesn't make any sense to me. 12 of 10, the Lions have to be the favourites still, even though they 7 down. You hit 2 out the ground, it's game over. They have a man from the Caribbean who invented hitting the ball out the ground, the Caribbean.
Would you like to take on the Duckworth-Lewis? Reinvented it, bring it back to the modern, bring it into the modern world of cricket.
I'm not smart enough. I know that they are, but I'm sure that they can come up with something else now to try and make it a little bit more realistic for the modern game. I mean, if Chris Gale was at the wicket with the number 9, the Duckworth-Lewis method wouldn't read any different. And Gale goes bang 6, end of game. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, just looking at Ramon Simmons, the way he played that last delivery, he looks like he might be just trying to get Tilak on strike here.
Tries to give us a Hoyt. The singles. The singles are a bit dangerous for the Yaks right now. They're leaking runs without realizing it.
Yeah, the important thing for the Lions is no dot balls. Worst case scenario for the Lions is they get a run off a ball because somewhere along the line an outside edge is found, or an inside edge that goes past the man at short fine leg for 4. Whatever the case is, we got ourselves another close one.
Extremely well bowled. Home and wide Yorker, gets no bat on that, and that's the duck ball.
That's a brilliant delivery. That is the perfect delivery. When someone's clearing their front leg in the hope that they can hit you over long on or deep mid wicket and you bowl a wide Yorker, that's exceptional. One last ball for a brilliant over.
Can't get a hold of it, and it's a single to end the over. An exceptional spell comes to an end for Sampal Kami. It's 19 gone, the Lions 120 for 7. The Chipon Rhinos right after this. Tough loss for them in a super over yesterday. The Kings, they want to try and pick up a win today, but the Rhinos are a strong side. And not much has gone the Kings' way either.
Well, what would go their way is if the Lions managed to get 9 from the final 6 deliveries, because it would mean that the Kings' competition is still very much alive. The Yaks win this, they go to 8. The Yaks lose this, the Lions go to 4, but that's the maximum that they can get, and that's the reason why they are out. But it would mean Lions, who are in 8th position at the moment, if they win their last 2 matches, they can get to 6 points, so they could be in. This is a vital over, not only for today, but for the competition going forward.
It's a great start to this final over. He starts with a dart, Nandan Yadav. So consistent in the death as well.
Now all of a sudden the equation starts to look tough. It hasn't looked tough at all. At no stage has it looked difficult. 1 dot ball from Nandan, and now you start to wonder. Nails will be bitten, shoulders will be slumped, questions will be asked. A boundary is required. What about a little inside edge past the man at short fine leg for 4? It always happens. Surely it happens now.
And it's another dart ball coming down the track this time. Simmons is frustrated with himself. 9 off 4.
Panic has set in. Where the equation was simple, now boundaries are required. Let's bear in mind that while fingers might be pointed at this man in picture, he is walking in at number 9. The dismissal of Tom Morse is something that the Lions will need to look long and hard at if they don't emerge victorious. They were walking over the line. They were crawling over the line. Now they need a sprint.
Big chat to Rick and Simmons. Few words of encouragement. They managed to get some bat on this, and they'll pick up a single. Tillich's going to keep strike. Been out there for 3 deliveries, 2 runs. Maybe a bit more confidence though.
Boundary needed. Worst case scenario, it's one that goes along the floor. Best case scenario, someone in the crowd catches it. No one sitting down in the ground, everyone on their feet. 20 minutes ago, there wasn't a contest.
Leg goes deep. Deep square leg as well.
Doesn't want to leave the stumps. Middle leg.
It's hacked and it's going to be another single. They need a big one. There's no other way from here on.
Two runs from 4 deliveries. He chose to go length. Now there's nothing wrong with that because he cramped him for room. Brought mid-off up, saying you're not going to hit me through the offside. You're not going to hit me through extra cover. I put my fine leg back. I put my square leg back. And I'm going to bowl length. Here's the interesting delivery. Fine leg is up. Third is back. He looks for the wide Yorker again here, surely. Surely he looks for the wide Yorker.
Gets a piece of it. And they settle for yet another single. 1 off 6. He's a hero in the context of things.
Yesterday 6 was required for a super over. Today 6 is needed for a win. A win to keep teams' hopes alive in this competition. The Lions need to do everyone a favour. A victory for the Yaks will surely move them oh so close to qualifying for the playoffs. It is a critical delivery. Can Tilak hit this off the ground? He needs to hit this off the ground. There'll be words from everywhere. There'll be encouragement from everywhere. He has the plan. He has gone for just 3. He has bowled the perfect over. Surely he finishes it.
And he bowls a perfect delivery to wrap up the game. Nandan Yadav has been impressive. The Karnal Yaks, they win this by 5 runs. Should have never come down to the wire the way it did. The Lions should have had it covered from the time that they started. But in the end, the Yaks are just a bit too strong, and they show up victorious at the end of it. Thanks to great final over from that man on screen. Nandan Yadav. He continues to bowl those Yorkers when it matters. And that's going to be the end of the Lions. Lumbini Lions. A few highlights here and there, but all in all, it's not been the way they would have wanted to play at the Nepal Premier League. Disappointment for Roy Cordell, the captain, who's performed so well. Lone man, performing with bat and ball.
Yeah, unfortunately for that man in picture, he doesn't deserve the tournament that his team has had. He has been absolutely brilliant. Sensational. His team knows it as well. Today they should have cantered to victory. They were cruising when Zafar was at the wicket with Englishman Tom Moores, and then from absolutely nowhere, Moores decided to play the inventive sweep shot when a runner ball was required. He lost his stumps. The Yaks saw an opening and they took it. And now they have 8 points. And surely they've done enough. This is the final delivery. What a delivery it was. What an over it was. Nandan, 1 for 26 in his 4. No more an important over than that one has been bowled in the Yaks campaign. They are oh so close to qualifying. One thing is for certain, the Lions, they're going home.
Most definitely going home. A campaign that they want to forget and come back much, much stronger next year.
Couple of contributions at the top. Then a good partnership between Moores and Sandeep Jora. Then cutting, well, we took about 10 minutes to come to that decision because it was so tight, his catch on the boundary. Saad Zafar played well. Him and Tom Moores, they had it won for the Lions. But as so often happens in T20 cricket, well, you have a mind explosion. And that happened to the Englishman Tom Moores today. And the Lions eventually bowled out for 1, 2, 3.
Is at top order. The partnerships have never come from the top order. Just the one highlight between Sandeep Jora and Tom Moores. 51 off 41, and a slight highlight between Saad Zafar and Tom Moores.
22 off 18. But starts not leading to bigger partnerships, not leading to bigger scores, sees the Lumbini Lions out of this tournament. The bowling, the Yaks have been tidy. Most bowlers picking up wickets as well. Kami bowled well for his 1. Nandan Yadav, exceptional final over, picks up a wicket as well. Bipin Sharma, wicket, as well as Will Basisto. Exceptional economy rate for him, going at 5.75 runs and over. Zishan Maksud, 2 wickets to him and going at just 4 runs and over.
Yeah, it wasn't a big run chase. There were words of wisdom from Dev Kunal to the opposition early on, and they started beautifully. Saad getting to 13 before he just clipped one to the very same at mid-on. Cordell and walked at number 3, and there was a lot expected of Rohit Cordell because of how well he's played throughout this tournament. But he picked one too many to try that old reverse sweep, and many thought, well, the Yaks are in the game here. So on, Tom Moores, the Englishman, played well, as he has throughout this tournament. He's got good starts, he's found boundaries when he's needed to find boundaries. It was all one-way traffic from here on in. Jora and Moores taking them oh so close to victory. But every time a team gets close to a victory, someone makes an error. Jura, caught in the deep. Cutting, well, hasn't had the longest tournament, only played a handful of games. What a wonderful catch from Baba Hyatt in the deep. Zafar and Tom Moores tipped them close. And here we were all shaking our heads thinking, can you believe it? The Lions are going to do everyone a favour. And then at moment critique, it was that man Nandan who knocked over Tom Moores. I thought that Sampal Kami captained extremely well. This was the run out. Chose his bowlers correctly. Gave the young man the honour, the difficulty of bowling that final over, and he did it perfectly.
Confirmation, Karnali Yaks 128 for 8 in their 20 overs thanks to a handy knock from Basisto again. 44 of 30 from him. Arjun chipping in with 25 of 20. The bowling, Agri 3 for 14, Tilak 2 for 23. They thought that they would have had themselves in the game. The Lumbini Lions, they had needed just 129 to win. And despite 36 from 35 from Moores and 24 from 21 off Jora, they just didn't have enough the bank. It was really good bowling from the Yaks as Ishan Maksub, 2 for 12. Basisto picking up a wicket. The skipper Sampal Kami and Bipin picking up a wicket each as well. But just not enough in the bank for the Lions and the Yaks. They were outstanding in that second innings. They win the contest by 5 runs. The Yaks, they move up to 3rd position. And it's the end of the tournament for the Lumbini Lions. They've played their 7, they've lost 6, and they'll have to come back stronger for next year. We're going to take a